Well, it seems Vladimir Putin is really coming down hard on ISIS. Russia wipes out ISIS supply line as Putin continues his bombing blitz. This is the moment Russia stepped up their bombing crusade against Islamic State, ISIS, in Syria as they obliterated the terror group's supply lines. Here's a short video from Reuters. And we know that Reuters news is fairly reputable in their report. There's hardly any propaganda coming off of them. Look at it just blow up that bridge. Looks like a second explosion there. It's only a 20-second video. In their latest assault against the twisted militant organization, Russian jets dramatically cut off routes used by ISIS to deliver supplies from Iraq to neighboring Syria. The Russian General Staff confirmed today that Russian airplanes have successfully bombed a bridge over the Euphrates River. Tongue twisted there. The Deputy Chief of the General Staff of Russia, Colonel General Andrei Kartapolov, said the bridge over the Euphrates River near the Syrian city of Deir ez-Zor was a key point of the logistics chain of ISIS. Today, Russian pilots carried out a surgical strike against the object. Russia is currently in the middle of a blitzing campaign against ISIS. Mr. Kartapolov also claimed that the airstrike was conducted in a region that was under the control of ISIS. Yesterday, a Russian Defense Ministry person claimed that Moscow had destroyed more than 70 ISIS targets, mainly weapons and ammunition depots, in 24 hours alone. 70. Wow. Russia has so far boasted to have wiped out hundreds of ISIS jihadis in just 2 weeks of starting their bombing campaign against the terror group. ISIS have controlled a large swath of land in both Syria and Iraq. ISIS supporters waving the group's notorious black flag. Well, it seems a lot of them are dying right now. It's very sad that humanity has to sit here and fight and blow up and kill people. However, the U.S. has accused Russia of only looking to prop up Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's regime by bombing Syria rather than tackling ISIS. The Prime Minister of Russia rubbished such claims and retaliated by branding the U.S. short-sighted and weak, just days after Russian President Vladimir Putin blasted America's unconstructive stance toward beating the terror group. Will Obama's propagandists stand up against Vladimir Putin? It seems he's being defeated in that as well. Russia has been conducting daily airstrikes in Syria since September 30th. Meanwhile, an exclusive Express.co.uk poll last week revealed that the Russian crusade in Syria has the support of more than 2 in every 3 Britons. More than 27,000 people voted in the Express.co.uk poll, with 71% saying that support Vladimir Putin's bombing campaign in Syria. And that would seem to make sense with the Britons, since Britain, it says British fighter pilots for this news article secretly prepare for bombing blitz to join Putin and wipe out ISIS. Well, actually, they've already been part of the bombing. So, are they going to be doing a better job now? British fighter pilots have been secretly training to bomb war-torn Syria in a bid to wipe out the evil Islamic State. British fighter jets are preparing to bomb ISIS. That's not the British fighter jets. That seems to be a misprint from this site here. As soon as the British government backs Syria airstrikes, a fleet of Tornado fighter bombers will take to the air in Cyprus to launch missions in the Middle East. RAF Chief Martin Sampson said his jets were ready to expand their sorties to Syria. He said, "We would be doing exactly the same job as we are doing in Iraq in a different piece of airspace. The target is the same, ISIS." David Cameron is yet to back Syria airstrikes. "We are very well versed at striking them, and we would do exactly the same thing in Syria." The Air Commodore said the UK's GR4 jets would be particularly valuable because they fire high-precision missiles capable of killing a single person without killing anyone nearby. Speaking to the Daily Star, he added the Tornado crews are ready to execute the mission wherever the politicians deem it necessary. Prime Minister David Cameron is yet to give any details over when he plans to ask MPs to vote on military action against bloodthirsty ISIS fighters in Syria. But he has paved the way for extending bombing raids against the Sikh terror group when he announced plans to double the unmanned drone fleet flying over Syria and to beef up SAS operations in the country. Defense Secretary Michael Fallon recently said that we can't leave it to other countries to keep our streets safe. Cameroon has paved the way for extending bombing raids against the Sikh terror group. Mr. Fallon said that the jihadists had to be confronted wherever they took root and warned that deadly plots against Britain were being orchestrated from ISIS strongholds in northern Syria. Elsewhere, Russia has obliterated more than 70 ISIS targets in the past 24 hours alone as it continues its blitzing crusade against the evil terror group. Over the past day, Russian planes are said to have conducted 53 bombing raids or runs against ISIS, hitting a total of 72 targets, mostly weapons and ammunition depots. Russia has so far claimed to have wiped out hundreds of ISIS jihadists in just 2 weeks of starting their bombing campaign against the terrorists. Hundreds? I thought we had like 40,000 of them. And I do believe they are mercenaries, paid mercenaries by Mr. Obama. Putin has announced his plans to obliterate ISIS with daily airstrikes. Okay, well that's going to be it for this report.